What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Nine Innings Deep. My name is Andrew. As you already know, this is my second episode back. Very excited to be here today. How did you guys feel about the Super Bowl yesterday? Did you have the Patriots winning, Seattle winning? I personally had Seattle winning. I didn't trust Drake May and the Patriots. I thought they had the easiest schedule by far in football, as well as a very easy path throughout the playoffs. So that went as expected for me. But let me know down in the comments how you guys felt about it. But let's just dive right into it. I have some important things to talk. Starting off with the farm system, Bleacher Report as well as ESPN stated that the Chicago Cubs have the 22nd ranked farm system in all of baseball, and it's the worst farm system the Cubs have had in the last 20 years. Is that valid or is it not valid? There's a lot of variables that go into this, so let's just dive right into it. So off rip, two things stand out to me, and that's the Kyle Tucker trade and that's the Edward Cabrera trade. The Cubs gave up premier prospects to acquire both players. For Kyle Tucker, the Cubs gave up Cam Smith. Cam Smith was a very highly regarded third base prospect throughout the league. He was fast tracked to baseball because, quite frankly, he was smoking the ball down in the minors. Owen Casey. Owen Casey was our top prospect, outfield prospect, a lot of power, left-handed bat. Would have slotted in probably in the middle of the Cubs lineup if he developed properly, which I have no doubt in my mind why he wouldn't have. But nonetheless, he was traded to Miami for Edward Cabrera, which I do think overall that was a very good deal. The Cubs got a premier pitcher for 3 years of control, pretty cheap. Biggest question mark is, can he handle Chicago weather and can he stay healthy? If he could get those two down, then I think the Cubs came out on top on that one. But those two trades alone impacted the Cubs farm system tremendously. And that's not even talking about guys like Kevin Alcantara, Moises Ballesteros, PCA, Matt Shaw, Cade Horton, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of the Cubs' major prospects within the last year or so have graduated and now are on the major league roster making impacts. So that obviously is going to impact our number on the farm system. That's what farm systems are for developing players and bringing them up and them having an immediate impact. Doesn't have to always be an immediate impact, but for the Cubs, Cade Horton, he looks like he's really good. PCA, we all know what PCA is capable of. He had a slower start to his career offensively, but he sure as hell picked it up this year. Matt Shaw, same thing. This was his first total year or complete year playing at third base, a new position for him. And he struggled offensively at first. His defense was outstanding. I personally think he could have been a Gold Glove Award winner. I think he was a finalist for sure. But his bat ended up coming around in the latter half of the season, in the second half of the season, where he posted an OPS above 800. If the Cubs can get that out of Matt Shaw on a year basis, then the Cubs struck gold with Matt Shaw and a bunch of these other guys. Now, let's talk about some notable prospects that the Cubs do still have down in the farm system who are going to be in the major leagues very soon. Starting off with Jackson Wiggins, right-handed pitcher. He's 24 years old and currently in AAA Iowa. Jackson Wiggins is coming off of Tommy John surgery. It's his second season back from Tommy John, and he's done nothing short of produce, right? Yes, he has a innings limit, but that's understandable coming off of Tommy John. You have to build yourself back up. Jackson Wiggins has a wipeout slider, a fastball that could touch 98 to 100 miles per hour, as well as a nice changeup. If this kid could command his balls or command his pitches, appropriately, you're going to see another Cade Horton-esque player, in my opinion. I was very high on Cade Horton. Everyone who I knew, I always raved about Cade Horton, and he came up and he lit the world on fire, right, in this season. So I think the Cubs have another Cade Horton within Jackson Wiggins, and I think this kid is going to make an immediate impact when he comes up. And it's also really nice that the Cubs have such a nice prospect with Jackson Wiggins because that just leads to more pitching depth. The Cubs did one thing right this offseason. Actually, they did a lot of things right this offseason. But one of the biggest things I think they did was acquire quality depth for their pitching rotation, which they didn't have last season or years before. But now the Cubs have a pretty deep rotation. If someone gets hurt or two guys get hurt, the Cubs should be able to stay afloat because of this quality depth that they have. And that's not even regarding Jackson Wiggins because he's not in the major leagues yet. But Jackson Wiggins could absolutely be a stud for the Chicago Cubs, and I cannot wait to see him in Wrigley Field. I will try my best if I'm not working to be at that game. Another notable player within the Cubs organization and minor leagues is Ethan Conrad. Ethan Conrad was drafted with our first overall pick in the 2025 MLB draft, number 17. He's a left handed outfielder, 6'3, 225 pounds, big kid. He could run well for his size. His scouting grade for run is 55. That's pretty damn good. He's very athletic. He has a nice, smooth swing. Has to cut down his strikeouts, but that's normal for a young kid. But he is one of the more mature at bat, or excuse me, hitters of that draft, right? And the Cubs do have some people coming off the books. Ian Happ is yet to be extended in the outfield. Seiya Suzuki is 1 year remaining for this season. So the Cubs have a lot of question marks right now with their outfield after this season, perhaps. Yeah, we have Kevin Alcantara, right? We have Matt Shaw, who has been taking reps in the outfield, and I'm all for that. I love the fact that Matt Shaw could be a super utility player, but Ethan Conrad, I believe, will be more so fast tracked MLB because I think he's very mature for his age. He's a big kid, and if he can keep that walk to strikeout ratio pretty damn solid, then I think you'll see him in Wrigley Field soon enough. Outside of Jackson Wiggins as well as Ethan Conrad, the Cubs do have some other pretty solid options, in my opinion, down in the minor leagues, such as Jefferson Rojas, who's a shortstop, such as Jonathan Long, James Triantos, Brandon Birdsell, Cole Mathis, who we drafted in the second round last year. I don't think I think the problem with the Cubs minor league system is they're very top heavy prospect rankings, right? Where the Cubs in the 15 to 30 rankings, they're not that good. But I think the Cubs 1 through 15, they're all pretty solid. I trust Jed Hoyer and I trust our management to make the correct decisions when it comes to that because the Cubs have leaned heavily on player development the last few years. They have boosted up their facilities. They have upgraded their scouting department and all that stuff. They have poured more resources into that. And I think the Cubs are one of the more premier organizations when it comes to developing prospects these days. I think they're trying to take a book out of the LA Dodgers. I think everyone should be at this point. Not only do the Dodgers have an unlimited amount of money to spend, they have, back-to-back World Series champions. They have arguably one of the best farm systems in baseball. And how do they do that? Well, they develop their players right and they make smart trades. And that's what the Cubs have to do better on, right? I think the Kyle Tucker trade was a good trade at the time of the trade. It didn't end up working out like that. Well, I mean, the Cubs made the NLDS. I get it. They were one game away from, the NLCS, but I think deep down everyone knew that last year wasn't the Cubs' year. They started off that way with the offense red hot and stuff like that, but there are some blaring holes in that team. But now I think the Cubs are doing the correct thing where they're building up nice quality depth on the bench, on the pitching staff, in the bullpen. They have some farm guys who are on the come up, some pretty big names in my opinion, like Jackson Wiggins. Like I said, I really can't wait to see Jackson Wiggins. So I don't know if I believe that 22nd or 21st ranked farm system. I think it's somewhat appropriate. I think the Cubs are more so in the middle of the pack, not towards the lower half. A question for you guys. Who are you looking forward to the most from the Cubs farm system, and where do you think the Cubs farm system ranks in all of baseball? So to sum up everything I just talked about the farm system, the Cubs are using top assets within their system to compete and be competitive on the major league roster, right? That's pretty much all you need to know. And don't worry, we'll be fine. Our farm system will be fine. We're going to continue to acquire talent. Who knows? Maybe a Nico trade is pending. I sure hope not, but if we do, I would imagine that'd be a prospect in return as well as an immediate impact talent on the team, considering the Cubs are going for it all this year. I proved that with Edward Cabrera and Alex Bregman. But I do love the direction of this team, and I couldn't be more excited for this season. And I'm not just blowing smoke up your guys' ass at this point. I really think the Cubs could possibly compete with the Dodgers at this point for the NL pennant, excuse me. This is only my second video back, so I'm still kind of gauge between when I'm available to do these videos. I do want to get a more clear schedule off for you guys so you guys could expect a video from me, as well as moving forward. I talked about this in my last video, but I do want to start dropping what I'll be talking about in the next or in the future video, so you guys kind of have an idea. And the next upcoming videos will definitely be breaking down the Cubs offense, their lineup 1 through 9, as well as the pitching staff and the bullpen. Those are going to be separate videos. Pitching staff, starting pitching, bullpen is one video, offense is the second video, right? But I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, share, do whatever the hell you want to do, honestly. If you guys want to critique me on anything, if you guys think there could be improvement somewhere, I'm open for that down in the comments. I'm open for all sorts of feedback, negative or positive, because that's what is going to make me better ultimately for myself as well as for you guys. But thank you and have a great day.